Hey everyone, we're going to be looking at the Union Square Vellum tracing pads today. Now, tracing paper is generally tracing paper. It's, why are we throwing a celebration about it and making a video? This tracing paper is actually a little bit different than your traditional tracing paper, and I think one of the first things that you would notice when working with it is just the thickness of it. I have here a regular tracing paper pad, and the paper is usually, I don't know, about 25 to 30 pound. It's not very thick, which is fine. Generally, you want to make sure that you can see through it. You're tracing. And, with this, I have a hooter, and, you can see that and trace it easily enough. Well, the nice thing about the Union Square is that the paper is over twice as thick as your traditional tracing paper, but you can still see through it just fine. See the image just fine. So why does that matter? Why does having a thicker paper matter when it comes to tracing? Well, I can tell you a lot of reasons. The first and biggest is it's less vulnerable. Even when you're tracing something, you can make a mistake. And if I was to, just as an example, whoops, that's not tracing, and come in with just a kneaded eraser, it stays just fine. If I was to use a traditional tracing paper, though, you have to worry a lot more about it coming up on you and ripping. The paper is a lot more vulnerable and susceptible. So if you were to go in here and erase, you can erase just fine, holding it down, but move your hand just for just a second and you've got yourself a hot mess. The other thing is that people like to use tracing paper to do certain types of transfers, like with watercolor pencil. They'll take a watercolor pencil and trace something out, and then wet a piece of watercolor paper or multimedia paper down, put the tracing paper over that, and then rub it. And you don't want that to tear when you're doing a transfer. So again, having a very thick type of paper that isn't going to come up on you. Notice the whole pad moves before the paper does with that thicker paper. So the resiliency of the tracing paper is great. If you do architecture and engineering, things for class, again, it goes back to the resiliency. You want to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. So the Union Square pads stay together very nicely because they're binding. So if you wanted to do like a layering technique, for example, you can see here we have a situation where these are 3 sheets of paper, and we're seeing all the way down to the third, and we've inked it to come up. So if you were to do something where it's like, okay, in stages, we have our stage 1, our stage 2, and then, well, a bird. If you want to use tracing paper for more than just a quick sketch and you want to make sure that it's going to stay in place and do the right thing, the Union Square offers a very unique option in that the paper is almost twice the thickness and just as transparent, or translucent, excuse me. So I would say that this is a great option if you want to try something multimedia, mixed media use, more professional architecture engineering use. You have a new option. There's a new bad boy in tracing paper in town. How ridiculous is that? So give them a try, and hope you like them. Should I even continue, or was that too much?
It was a little much.
I'm like still thinking, did that just happen?
But that's what I want people to experience in my videos. Like, did that just happen? And don't give them a rewind option.